going to be doing a video all about highlighting and contouring with cream products. And I'm so excited to be doing this video because I have been going through a very intense obsession recently with highlighting and contouring with cream products. There's a lot of benefits to cream contouring and highlighting. First of all, if you have dry skin, it's gonna be a huge plus for you because powder sometimes does not work on people with dry skin because it can grab onto the little patches. It's very hard to blend if you're extremely dry. So creams are always gonna work for those of you who have dry skin. Also, the number one thing that I personally love about cream contour and highlighting is no matter what type of skin you have, skin tone, skin color, anything, it, in my opinion, is personally going to look the most natural. So before jumping into the actual demo of this video, I actually just want to give you guys suggestions and my recommendations of my favorite cream contours. That way, if you guys don't want to use the exact same method that I use today or the exact same products, you have suggestions for some other ones that I think very highly of and would recommend to anybody. This is like my baby. This is like my favorite product in the entire world, and this is the Chanel Soleil Teint de Chanel. I've owned mine for quite a few years. When I first bought it, I was like, oh, you better be good because it's so expensive, and it has been worth every single penny. You can see that there's like a little dent in it, but for the most part, like, I am still so good. I feel like this is gonna last me like another year before I have to replace it, which is crazy because I've already owned it for a couple of years and I've used it so much. This is beautiful for just bronzing the face, bronzing the entire face. This has to be probably my favorite ever contour cream bronze shade ever on the market. The Bobbi Brown, what is this technically? This is technically a Bobbi Brown foundation stick, but I call it the Bobbi Brown contour stick. You can get this in any shade you want because it is a foundation stick. There's a wide range of colors. So if you're someone who likes more of like a gray, more kind of ashy, cool tone color, you would not want to use the color that I have because this is Golden 6, which is a very golden shade. I typically, when I use this, I will use it to kind of, oh my gosh, I almost dropped that and I was like, no! I will typically use this on my entire cheek area just to kind of bronze and warm up the face. This is more of a summertime thing for me, but again, you can get it in any color to do whatever you desire, and it just blends so beautifully. It's nice and pigmented, very full coverage, so it's ideal for that. Plus, you have it in a stick form, so you can really carve everything out as you go. This is an oldie but a goodie. Oh my gosh, when I was freelancing and hustling, this was like my go-to for everything. And this is just a small palette. This is the Graftobian, what is this? The Graftobian High Def Glamour Cream Palette. This is in the shade Warm, but this isn't technically like what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the Graftobian foundations in general. I can link some of them down below if you guys want so that you can check them out for yourself. But I have like the actual big palettes for like with every single color that they sell, and that's what I used to use for brides. That's what I use for contour, highlight, so forth. Sorry, I'm having a hard time speaking because I'm talking 5,000 miles an hour. These are just absolutely beautiful. They are so creamy, so pigmented. These blend out like a dream. So if you're looking for something that is just like so easy and so simple and has more than one shade, I would try one of these out. And if you want it for contour, you might want to go with the neutral shade or even the cool shade. And you can get it in this little one right here, and then you can get 5 colors from light to dark. They're just ideal for cream contour and highlight. Last but not least, we have the new Anastasia of Beverly Hills Cream Contour and Highlight Kit. I would really recommend this to mainly someone with oilier skin. This is a dream come true for someone with oilier skin because this is a drier formulation. So it's not gonna be as easy to blend out as the other ones. But the pro about that is if you have very oily skin and if everything breaks up and everything kind of starts moving down on you, this won't do that. This will stay in place. This will lock all day long. If you are more on the dry side, I would recommend mixing an oil with it. I don't know if you guys know who Manny is here on YouTube. Anyways, him and I were texting when we first got these palettes in, and I was telling him like, you know, it's a little bit dry, and he was like, I'm gonna mix it with oil, and I was like, stop, that's what I'm doing right now too. It was so, like we both thought of the exact same thing at the exact same time, and we both love it. So just mixing a little drop of beauty oil with this, and then on the face, you can use like vitamin E oil, argan oil, you can use whatever you want. Mixing this with an oil will then make it ideal for those of you who are more dry and you just want something really creamy and blendable. So the Anastasia Cream Contour and Highlight Kit. So I do not have any foundation or makeup on my skin right now. I only have my eyeshadow and like my lashes done, but I haven't done my brows or my skin. So I'm gonna go do that off of camera really quick because you guys have seen me do it 500 times. Okay, I'm back. I just got done applying Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And honestly, it does not matter what liquid foundation you use as long as it is a liquid. Just keep in mind that you always have to do liquids first and then set it with a powder. You cannot do cream contour and highlight if you use powder foundation because again, liquids and creams always have to go first and then a powder. I also suggest starting off with moisturized skin because we're gonna go in with creamy products. It's always good to have moisturized skin when you're applying your foundation. It'll make everything look much more youthful, dewy, and supple and radiant, but especially when we're gonna be working with lots of creams, make sure you are moisturized. So I'm going to conceal my under eye area using MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW20 and NW25. And then using my clean ring finger, I'm just going to apply this underneath my eye area in my inner corner, down the side of my nose, and then I'm going to go upward back towards the temple. The shape that you choose to make with your under eye concealer is really important because in the end of this entire process, this is going to really give you the face shape that you personally are desiring. I like that kind of lifted look with my highlight and contour. That's why I bring this down dramatically right here to my smile line, and then I bring it up toward the temple because in the end, that's gonna give me that really kind of lifted oval face. You can do whatever you want though, because that's really what this is all about, is using cream contour and highlight to really manipulate the face. We're gonna make some things pop, we're gonna make some things recede, but more than anything, we're gonna give ourselves the face shape that we personally desire. So that is why I am going in with this triangular motion and bringing this upward. I am just using a damp beauty blender to just blend all of this out. This is my favorite tool for blending out under eye concealer. It's just like such a dream and it's so easy. I personally bring back my concealer all the way back towards my temple. Like I'm not afraid to get very close to my hairline. That's because I do not have like a wide face right here. If some of you have like a really wide, intense cheekbone right up here and you're wider in this area and you want that to be more receding and you don't want it to stick out as much, you're not gonna wanna highlight like I am. You're gonna wanna take your concealer and stop it like right here, and then you're going to contour in this area to bring it more in. But because I kind of want this part to look lifted and elevated and pop out more, that's why I'm bringing my highlight further back. So the first thing that I'm going to use is the contour stick by Smashbox. This is part of their step-by-step contour stick collection, and I'm going in with the contour shade, and I'm literally going to carve out the contours of my face. So the rule that I always live by is going from the top of the ear to the corner of the lip. That is typically on your face going to be your desired line. So right here is where we want to make the darkest line and then blend out from there. Make sure you do not bring it all the way to the corner of your lip though, otherwise you're going to have a very intense, non-natural looking contour. You want to bring it about halfway and then blend out from there. Another tip that I like to give a lot of people is if you do not have like what I call baby cheeks, where you have like a nice ball of cheek right in the center of your face, but you want to have that desired face shape, what you can do is you can kind of curve this out and round it like that, and it'll kind of look like it's cupping your cheek, and once you've blended that out in that kind of rounded motion, it'll give you that more desired rounded cup face. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend this contour out. You can use any brush that has synthetic hairs on it, but synthetic hairs are so extremely important when blending out any cream products because they're not going to steal your product from you, they're not going to make you blotchy, and they're just going to really blend everything out nice and smoothly without getting any harsh lines. You just want to work in kind of quick motions, back and forth, same way you would blend your eyeshadow. You kind of want to go back and forth and then in circular motions. And as you can see, I'm kind of cupping the apple of my cheek. The apple of my cheek is right here, and we're gonna kind of cup this when we come into the inner portion because that's gonna give us that desired cheek look. Now, if you had a square face, you would not want to contour just like this. If you had a square face, you would want to take lines and now draw downward at this point and contour that entire area in. My friend, who has a very, very round face, I'm hoping to get her on camera sometime soon and use her as a model so that I can show you guys how I would work with contouring and highlighting and liner and all that jazz for someone with a round face. That's my hope, but until then, I just kind of give you tips along the way. And now I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna do my forehead. I'm gonna start with a line right here and I'm going to bring that line and taper it downward like this. If you have a large forehead, or if you think you have a large forehead and you wanna make it look smaller, you can bring these lines down as far as you want. But I am just going to bring them down a little bit just for definition because I don't feel like I really wanna like make my hairline come down. I just wanna do this to even everything out. I'm gonna contour my nose and I'm gonna take this exact same contour stick. I'm gonna make 2 lines on each side of my nose. I personally do not contour my nose often because I feel like sometimes it can actually do more harm than good. I personally had my nose broken when I was 13 years old, so because of that, it is crooked. I don't like doing anything to bring attention to it, so I really have to take my time when I'm contouring. I can't just slap it on there like someone with a perfectly straight nose could, because I have to really go in there, make sure I'm contouring certain areas, make sure I'm highlighting certain areas to not accentuate the crookedness of the broken nose and make the situation even worse than it already is. I am using a Sigma Precision Round P82 brush to blend this out. And I always connect it with the inner part of the brow. That will give you the most natural contour. I make sure that I bring it downward towards the side of the nose. Why do I feel like I have to have my mouth hanging open in order to do this? So now that I've done that, I absolutely have to go back in and highlight when I'm done contouring my nose, because this contour just kind of makes my nose look a little muddy and dirty, and so highlighting it is going to be absolute key. So now that we are contoured and we have some brown all over our face, we're gonna go in and highlight, which is actually my favorite step because this is the step that brings everything together and it's like, oh. So now I'm gonna go in with a highlighting stick, and what I'm gonna do this time is, instead of going in that area where we were before with the contour, I'm gonna go maybe like a ½ inch below that, and I'm gonna create a very intense line. So now I'm also gonna take that color and I'm going to start bringing it up from here to that smile line area. That's what I call it because I have very predominant smile lines, but what can I say, I'm a happy person. I'm gonna go in with my damp beauty blender again because this is my favorite way to blend this out, and I'm just going to start blending it, and I'm gonna kind of be rolling it down in a downward motion. We're gonna take this highlight up to the corner of the nose, and you're gonna see that it's gonna create a very sharp right here because we're cutting off that contour shade that we had. But that's okay because you're just gonna kind of roll and press to blend all that out so that this isn't too harsh. I'm gonna go in the center of the forehead, right above the bridge of the nose, and I'm going to kind of draw like a little flower, or at least a plant or something. And then I'm going to blend that out as well. I'm gonna use my foundation brush to blend this out just because it'll be faster than a beauty blender, but a beauty blender would work just fine. Now I'm gonna take a stripe right down the center of my nose to highlight the bridge of my nose. And I don't blend out the highlight that I put in the center of my nose because I don't want to kind of move it and make it go over the edge and ruin the contour that we did. So I just kind of dab up and down and kind of press it into the skin. I'm going to take that highlight and also go right on my Cupid's bow from the center of my lip up to my nose. And then I'm also going to create a cross right here on my chin. If you have a chin that you feel is too big, or you have something about your chin that you don't like, you wouldn't want to highlight this area, obviously. Instead, what I would suggest is you contour right here on the bottom of the chin pretty intensely and just kind of blend it upward, and that'll help kind of recede the chin if you feel like it sticks out too much. I'm gonna take the contour and I'm gonna go right underneath my lip, just lightly like that, and then I'm going to blend that down just with my finger. And I want the majority of this product to be right in the center of the lip going downward. This is gonna give us a poutier, fuller bottom lip. So to finish all this off, I'm just gonna go in with the contour stick one more time, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a shadow right here on the bottom of my jaw. I'm just gonna blend all of this out. This will just help give us more of a structured jaw. It's really important to go right back here behind that ear area, because if you ever see in like a magazine, you'll see like those beautiful profile shots of those models and their jaw is super strong. Of course, we're working with a lot of Photoshop, but before the Photoshop, the artist was contouring this area nice and hard right back here. Okay, so now we are done with the cream portion of highlighting and contouring, as you can see. So just to finish this look off, I'm going to set everything with powder. This is just important, otherwise it can kind of move and break up. You don't want to let it move and break up. I personally am dry, so I a lot of times won't set my contour because I don't need to, but on a lot of people, the cream products will tend to move, so you may want to set it. Because I never set my under eye concealer to begin with, you might just want to go back with your beauty blender, still damp, and just kind of buff this out in case that under eye concealer has begun to crease at all. I'm going to take a Sigma tapered highlighting brush. This is an F35. I'm going to mix Anastasia Banana Shade with MAC Pro Emphasize, because if you guys know me, you know that these are my ride or dies. And this is going to highlight us even a tiny bit more than I already am in this under eye area. I'm going to grab my favorite contour palette, which is the Kat Von D Shade Light palette. It has contour and lighting shades. And I'm going to take this middle brown one right here on the Kat Von D contour brush. Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, there's another one. Hold on. There you have it. Now that my eyes are red and super irritated, I'm going to take the middle shade right here, and then I'm going to just lightly blend this upward. And we're just kind of setting everything so that nothing moves, but also if there's any blotchiness or imperfections in the blending, this will just kind of help blend everything together even more so. Now I'm going to take this highlight color on the opposite end of the brush from this Kat Von D palette. And what I'm going to do is just take that and go right underneath that contour from before and just make a line just like this. I'm going to take that same highlight color that I'm already about to hit pan on because I love it so much. I'm going to dab a little bit of it in the center of my forehead. And then a little bit on the center of my chin. And I'm going to take it on a much smaller blending brush, that same highlight shade, and put a little bit of it on the center of my nose. Oh my God, don't make me sneeze. All right, let me just finish off my makeup really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished off my makeup. I filled in my eyebrows. I did my lower lash line. I used MAC Melba blush on my cheeks. And so now just to finish everything off, I'm going to go in and just highlight my cheekbone area. And I am going to actually be mixing two highlighters. This is so not necessary, but I own them both, so I just want to have fun and mix them. I'm going to mix both Becca Opal and Becca Moonstone together to create a really beautiful color. I'm going to be using my favorite highlighting brush at the moment, which is the Morphe M501. Oh my God, I love this brush. And I'm just going to drag this color right on the tops of my cheekbone. All right, you guys, so that completes this tutorial how-to demo that we just did. Not really sure what to call it, but we are done. And now you can see the finished product. I will move my face around so you can see the lines and the highlights that we've created all over the face. I know that this seems like it's a lot of steps, and that's because it is. This is not something that I typically do on a daily basis just because it's very tedious and it's gonna take a little bit more time than I would like to spend when I do my makeup on the everyday occasion. This is something that I do when I wanna go the extra mile and get the extra glam factor on my face happening. Day to day, I will use the Chanel bronzer with a Sigma F84 Kabuki. I'll swirl this in there, I'll do my cheeks, forehead, and then what I'll do is I'll go in with the Smashbox highlight stick and I'll carve it out like I did earlier today, and I'm done. That is my everyday cream bronzing highlighting routine because it's so easy. It takes 60 seconds, I've got it down, and it just looks so natural. And if you guys are curious as to how this looks in person, because I know that sometimes you can watch a video and be like, okay, that looks great, but let's talk about how it looks face to face. It can be a different story. I would be totally honest with you. I have a very high HD camera. You are gonna see all my imperfections as for what it is. This is gonna look the exact same in person that it does on camera. The only thing I can say that's a difference is that for some reason my camera picks up my highlight very gritty. I don't know why, but my highlight always looks kind of chunky on this camera, where in person it looks really smooth and soft. But the key to it is to start off with a very sheer thin layer of foundation and build from there. If you start off with a thick layer of foundation, you're gonna build more creams and it's gonna look like frosting by the end. So you wanna start off with a more sheer layer of foundation than you typically would when you're going with powders, because you're gonna be building, and by the end result, you're gonna have more coverage than you started with. So yeah, that's that. Let me know what else you guys would like to see in the comments down below. If you wanna see any more contouring and highlighting videos, I can do another one for you that's a different technique if you guys would like to see it, or I could do kind of like my everyday routine, which is what I'm sadly wearing right now, but with a Chanel bronzer. You let me know what you guys want to see, and I will totally be reading the comments and taking your suggestions. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.